You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Mike and Tom in the Morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, and we are just so effing chipper today, aren't we?
Well, you go through some more technological challenges.
Seriously.
And it gets you all wired up and all fired up.
Yeah, I think the identification that we would identify with right now is we're both cranky pants.
And not because we're old.
No, not at all.
Gray-bearded.
Has nothing to do with that. Let's get into the weather real quick. Wednesday, it's going to be 49 degrees and cloudy. Thursday, 50 degrees. Friday, it's going to be cloudy again. Let me turn off the music, because I always mess that up. Right in the middle of it, it was just like, there's another music thing going.
More music.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like more music.
We do. Well, you're going to be hanging out with the Jaybirds.
Jayhawks.
Jayhawks.
Yeah, well,
Birds.
I'm loading their stuff out.
Technically speaking, hawks are birds. I was kind of right.
That's true. Yeah, Anyway,
over at the Tarrytown Music
you will
Hall,
not see many Jayhawks outside because it's too cold.
You shan't.
It's
Seriously.
too cold. Go inside the Tarrytown Music Hall.
Yeah. So we'll do this weather real quick. So
right.
basically, 39 degrees right now. Wednesday, it's going to be a high of 49 and mostly cloudy. Thursday, 50 degrees and mostly sunny. That's a big flip around. 1 degree and sunny. Friday, it's going to be cloudy, 54 degrees. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sunny, 51, 50, and 56. And then we're going to return to cloudiness once again with a chance of meatballs on Wednesday.
And when you hear 5150, you can't not think of Van Halen.
Van Halen, of course. I don't have to, I know copyright things, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
We are music-centric, especially rock and roll in this show, so why not?
We want to thank our sponsors, and we'll bring them up later on. Ilana will be announcing them, but we'd like to thank and announce the New York Boulders.
New York Boulders?
Are our supporters of AM Rockland's news.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this actually goes back a while. While WRCR, which is now defunct, they sold their radio frequency over to AM 770. Okay. Still in transition. But before that, we're going back about 10 years, WRCR used to have a studio over at Clover Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. So they broadcast the news there, and got to see a lot of really cool things there. And, so we spoke over the last few weeks, me and the Boulders, and we have a little partnership going. We're going to be announcing the news. Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you mentioned our sponsors. We're going to mention them later, but I really need to talk about last week's experience after the show. Tom took me to 202 Cannabis,
which also happens to be one of our sponsors.
That's why I'm bringing this up.
Why don't you tell us about your experience?
Fantastic experience I had. First of all, it was a little overwhelming with the number of products. They are all New York State products, I asked. It was just so overwhelming, and I can't remember his name. I'm so bad about names like that. But the nice fellow, Gerald?
It was Gerald.
Gave me the tour of the whole place, explained to me all about all the products, all about all the farms and this, that, and the other thing. How do you the process of not only being in the store and purchasing, but going online and purchasing through their drive-through. You don't even have to get out of your car.
First drive-through cannabis dispensary in all of Rockland County, Mike.
Well, I wonder if there's anywhere else. Like how far do you have to go to find another drive-through cannabis dispensary?
Yeah.
It's got to be a ways.
And if you think about it, it's almost like being able to order your stuff like it's fast food.
It is. It's like fast food weed. Fast food weed.
Now, I don't know about this cannabis thing. I don't understand it whatsoever.
Anyway,
I have to say that.
If you want to know about cannabis, Gerald, as I am reminded,
it's his name isn't Gerald. I just made that up.
Did you really?
Well, we had to have some filler.
I mean,
but I'm being honest with you now.
All right, so weed, Jerry weed,
something like that. Yeah, I mean, I know the owners. They're beautiful, really, really cool people.
To my point, go even if you don't know anything about dispensaries. They will go and hold your hand, not literally, but they'll walk you through the whole store.
They'll play Hootie and the Blowfish, Hold My Hand.
I mean, I didn't request any songs, but we should try that next time.
Yeah, I mean, they're very they're
very accommodating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
really cool.
Very informative. I asked a lot of questions, both on the legal side, the gardening side, procurement, how all that, and they knew all the right answers, all the things. It's a lovely place, super clean, super informative.
Yeah, it feels like an Apple store.
Oh, like don't say something so bad as that. Apple's evil. Weed is good.
You're reading the news off of an iPad.
I mean, only because you gave it to me.
Yeah, but you're not finding it. They're not evil. They're a corporation. Corporations aren't evil.
I mean, kind of.
Corporations are people, man.
That's evil.
Said Mitt Romney.
That's evil.
Well, that is just dumb. Corporations are not people.
No.
But at the same time.
And if that's the case, how come the companies that are 21 years or older are not, paying taxes and going into the army?
So, you mean like Forever 21 that went bankrupt?
No, I mean like IBM is old enough to drink.
Well, yes, and the thing, I will say this. The thing that I don't understand, and there's obviously some serious math and municipality planning involved in pilot agreements, payment in lieu of taxes, and that is all the rage in Rockland County over the last several years, because you have companies and, we're going to say, always give the benefit of the doubt, well-meaning businesses that are looking to establish a foothold in Rockland County. And for instance, you have Impact, which is basically they're looking to put up some residential housing at the old Haverstraw Chair Factory.
Okay.
But they won't do the deal unless there's a payment in lieu of taxes in place. According to town supervisor Howard Phillips, he's like, the numbers don't add up. It's like the amount of policing and infrastructure in order to handle.
The town has to pay.
Right. So yeah,
extra,
and this is the part where I'm very happy to not have like an opinion on either side.
Okay.
But I'm so interested in this topic.
Well, because it becomes an interesting thing. Like the businessman wants to go do business, and they will argue that they're doing it for the good of whatever, obviously for the good of their own pockets. But usually they're going to argue with the municipality that it's good for the municipality. We had this argument with Legoland, where Legoland said that they were going to come in and do all this stuff, but when it boiled down, none of it was going to come and benefit the citizens of the local towns of Haverstraw and Stony Point, and it was just going to make everything more tight, more miserable, more congested, and cost us more without getting anything back.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been reading this book, The Logic of Failure. Remember when we were interviewing Mike Lawler a few weeks ago? I brought it up. And the well-meaning people, they'll have the idea of instituting a policy that years down the road could end up causing disaster. And in the first chapter of this book, I'm only like about 3 chapters in. In the first chapter, they talk about there's a town where there's a business district, right? And they put in speed bumps to slow the traffic down to 25 miles per hour. Well, it turned out that because of the tire problems and the increased traffic in the area, it actually led to less business. Yeah. And who would have thought? I mean, I was like, right. The hell with it. Let's throw some speed bumps in there.
If we want to go to a nature report based on, looking at things from a more global, universal place. Yeah. There was a gentleman that I can't remember where I read this. I have to look it up again. He was looking at the wolf population versus how much
sheep population.
Well, kind of. And they said that by killing off individual wolves and wrecking the wolf normal society, it was causing more damage than leaving the wolf pack intact because they were going out and doing other things.
Interesting.
So by going and killing wolves, you are actually doing more damage to your own stuff because you're disrupting something that had a natural population that would have gone somewhere else.
The ecosystem, if you will.
Right. Yeah. So the ecosystem of economy that we're talking about, it wrecks other things that you don't even think about.
Exactly.
Which we talked a lot about Chippy over the last couple months, and that is one of the shining bad examples of not planning out far enough ahead and looking at some of the consequences to the small guy.
Well, you have to look at New York State ultimately. And, I get on George Patanovic's case because he's like, no, you can't have this pipeline like next to a Revolutionary War cemetery.
Well,
but where was New York State going to put it after that? Like over the mountains and through the hills to grandmother's house we go?
Put it in the air, where air traffic.
Yeah, let's
Multipass.
just have Meet George Jetson going over. And
I was thinking Fifth Element.
The great movie.
Multipass.
Yep. No, it's but New York State, and we flat out asked Mike Lawler, it's like, was this a strategic move? Okay, we're going to methodically move, or was it poor planning? He's like, no, they didn't have an idea what they were doing.
Right.
So, and that, let's say well-meaning people, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, stupid is more forgivable than evil, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's so much stupid out there.
And not to defend, but to defend, it's important for people like George to bring up the conversation of, well, should we put it this close to the cemetery? Should we have it in the river? That should be a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
All of this should be discussion before you pull the trigger.
Now, speaking of George, because George Holman, he's a friend of ours.
Moving to a different
Rockland
George.
News.
You said George Jetson.
Well, we're very stream of consciousness,
so
for some reason.
Should we talk about George Washington next?
Well, he cannot tell a lie. So
yeah, him and his cherry tree.
Yeah. But George and colleague Don Franchino, one of the town councilmen in Clarkstown, and I'm sure the rest of the board, they're in a little bit of a quagmire at the moment.
Oh, tell us about that.
Yes. So, and I'm going to read off some of the news here. Clarkstown officials say they are reviewing safety improvements for protests at the busy Route 59 and Middletown Road intersection in Nanuet known as Four Corners. Now, before I go further on this, I'd like to say I am very interested in this issue, much like Impact.
Okay.
And the pilot agreement.
Okay.
Because I could see the points to both sides.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm not always there. This one I could see. All right.
That's true. There's a lot of times I have to reel you back in and go, wait, here's the other side of that.
So just provide it. Yeah. Well, you sometimes you got to break a Tommy, right?
All right. Well, I mean, once a show at least.
So on Route 59 and Middletown Road, there's this legendary area that most of you that are listening probably know of, and it's right where Route 59 and Middletown Road meet up. You got a Panera Bread, you got a Banchetto Feast,
and an ancient house that refuses to sell.
It will not sell.
I love that lady. I love that old lady because she refuses to sell.
Well, you know what? Somebody's got to take a stand.
Right.
And it should be her.
Right.
And basically every week, especially for the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, people have congregated on Saturdays and protested for X number of hours.
Has it been the same protest or different protest?
Well, it's interesting because it's the big, let's just say the overarching name of it is the No Kings protest.
Okay, so most of it's political, straight up political protest.
Correct. Now, there's also other groups that would likely protest there, and from all corners, right?
All four.
All four. That's basically what I'm getting at there.
Right.
It's a First Amendment right to be able to protest.
Right.
The question is, what happens after that as far as safety? So a resident testified that counter-protesters lack a safe space to stand during demonstrations. Do they need a safe space? I don't know. Some political critics questioned the timing of the conversation, but Supervisor George Holman says the board is not considering limits on free speech, only safety and police overtime concerns. So we had Don Franchino on the show last week, and he was basically saying they want to limit the number of hours when the protesters can protest on Saturdays. They want to limit it to 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 noon.
I don't know the legality of that. Can you stop people from protesting at any time of the day? What does the First Amendment speech say? Are you actually limiting their free speech by saying you can only speak between this time and this time?
Right.
That seems against the Constitution. but I'm not a lawyer and I don't know.
And this is where I'm interested in how this plays out, because the position that we're in is that obviously you and I both agree on free speech.
Right, because that's what we're doing right here.
You know?
And we also believe that we shouldn't hurt our fellow citizens, especially Rocklander to Rocklander. So
I mean, I'll point out, I'm just going to get like really, we joke around on and off the air, right?
that's true.
But not being out, like having to look over our shoulder every time we say something stupid.
I mean, and there is a lot of stupid.
There is a
goes on
lot
this
of
show.
stupid, like imagine that, and multiply it by the number of people that say stupid things.
Right.
So,
but the question is, in the Constitution, we are allowed to gather and speak up against whatever tyranny we think it is. And can the municipality of any size tell you that you can't organize between certain hours?
right.
So that's the question, right? And that this might go to the Supreme Court, because that's a crazy question, right?
There must have been a few others like this over the years.
Well, is there precedent of this? I mean, I guess the lawyers will figure that out soon.
Yeah, right.
So,
and there has been a lot of discussion on social media. I want to also mention and thank our colleagues in the news industry. Rockland County Biz Journal actually put this out there, and then we followed up on it along with several other news agencies. News 12 picked it up recently. So it's definitely a topic of discussion that is helping all our news agencies, but on the same time. But the more important thing is I really, I'm interested in how this plays out.
You know what? I would like to know what our listeners feel on this subject, because this is something that is safety more important, or is your voice more important, regardless of what the topic is?
I could tell you right now how some people feel, because there is a very popular Rockland's Reddit group. And one of the individuals that wrote back says, "I am inconvenienced by traffic. Can they limit the times people can drive?"
That doesn't really discuss.
It's my kind of humor.
That doesn't really discuss the issue, really. It discusses the inconvenience,
right?
Which is probably what the politicians are going to lean into, is the inconvenience of it all,
right?
Which, that's the whole point of the protest.
Well, yes, yeah. And
you're being inconvenienced because you're not being aware. So you got to be aware. So you got to be inconvenienced.
And according to Donald Franchino, town councilman for Ward 3, and he's kind of like the honcho for that area, he said, and I quote, "We're not banning protests, but we are seeking to limit the time that they take place to avoid accidents and protect local commerce."
Right.
So his two main points had to do with, one was, can somebody jump the sidewalk and just mow down a whole bunch of people? That's one. Two is commerce, how the local businesses are affected. Are they using their bathrooms? Are they using their parking? Things like that. And three, and this is
hold on. If they're buying food and they're buying product, then those protesters are actually helping the commerce.
Yeah, and we're going to have him back on the show because he says that he's going to walk the block and ask all the different.
All right.
I also
we're on a
asked
fact-finding mission, doing some investigation. I like this.
Yeah, we're just crazy on the investigations. All right, so I also asked him about insurance. He brought up insurance, but I asked him several times about this. So one of the contentions has to do with that there's no one group, according to Donald Franchino, there's no one group that's actually like the head of it. It's not United Rockland, or I'm sorry, Indivisible Rockland.
That's not the way protests work.
No, I understand. But he's saying that nobody's submitting insurance.
Right. So that's not how protests work.
I know. I'm just reporting,
I'm just, I'm literally scratching my head, not understanding this. All right, keep reporting, Tom.
All right, so he's basically, and so if somebody all right, let's say that somebody's driving along right?
Yeah.
And accidentally mows down 50 people.
That's on their insurance.
The town's liable.
How's the town liable?
That's what they said.
That would, to me, that's a clear example of the driver being liable.
That would, I mean, I'm sure that the driver probably has some culpability there.
I mean, maybe we need to get a Rockland County judge on the air to solve this for us.
We do know some judges. You know what? I'm going to find out about that. It might have to be a retired judge, because I don't know if they're allowed to comment while they're wearing the cloth.
Fair. Do we have a listener who is a retired judge? Because I would like their take on this.
Well, one of our supporters for Rockland Music Fest was Phillips and Millman Law.
Okay.
Yeah, but Frank Phillips, he sits as a current judge. That's the question. I don't know.
So maybe we got to ask Millman if we can. Ask
right,
Phillips.
Millman's not a judge. But maybe him. So they were very helpful with the Rockland Music Fest, by the way. Okay, so the proposed regulation would limit protests to 2 hours on Saturday mornings, specifically from 8 to 10 a.m. I thought it was 10 to 12. I think that's that.
So you're basically saying you're only allowed to protest for 2 hours in the morning on a Saturday. Yeah, I think that's an issue.
Overtime for the cops is $37,000 last year. All right. According to one person on Reddit, and I don't have the actual number here, but the town, the police department budget for Clarkstown is $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, then it's a matter of percentages and fractions. Like, how much do you devote to this? How much do you devote to that?
But why should protesting be contingent on somebody else's money?
Well, and it also has to.
That's supposed to be free. Free speech is free speech, not money speech. Not I got to pay the police department speech.
I agree.
Free speech.
But should they be policed then? In other words, like, they're still afforded protections
As citizens who are paying their property taxes and paying their taxes in other ways. So, like, do we have to have police presence every time that there is a Little League baseball game or North Rockland Soccer Association soccer? I mean, that's just a gathering of people too.
That's true.
This one is just happens to be gathering in a place because they have something they got to say.
Yeah, 4,500 people though.
How many people go to Boulder Stadium?
I want to thank the New York Boulders for being our sponsors, and we're going to have a partnership that's going to be very beneficial. Because
Can I just break the Tommy?
Because no, quite the opposite, sir. Quite the opposite. I am really psyched about this. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm looking to put more people in that stadium. We're talking about 4,500. That stadium holds 6,700 people.
That was my question. 67.
Mm-hmm. 6'7".
There you go.
Yeah. It's a big thing right now. Okay. Right. So you want to do the next news item? I'll give it to you. But yeah, so we're going to be following up on that. Let me make this larger so that you can check it out. Check it out. All right. I'm going to give you a happy topic.
Happy topic. Are we talking about... Oh, wait. That's not a happy topic.
I was being sarcastic.
So the Ramapo police seek suspect in armed robbery that injured a woman in Hillcrest. The Ramapo police are searching for a masked suspect involved in a violent armed robbery in Hillcrest neighborhood late Thursday night. Officers were called to East Hickory Street around 10:45 p.m., where they found a woman who told police she had been confronted by a man dressed in dark clothing wearing a mask. According to the investigators, the attacker threatened her with a knife, robbed her, and then fled the scene on foot. The woman suffered significant injuries during the assault, and was taken to the local hospital where police say she is now in stable condition. Detectives from the Ramapo Police Investigation Division are urging anyone with information or surveillance footage to contact the department at 845-357-2400. No additional suspect details have been released, and the investigation is ongoing.
In Stony Point, several Stony Point families are still displaced and facing more than $250,000 in damage after a September water main break sent water surging into homes. I remember that day. I think we reported it on the air. Officials say that the break occurred at East Main Street, used to live there, and Route 9W, sending water into the sewer system, which then backed up through toilets and flooded area houses. Veolia Water owns the broken main. but their insurance company is denying coverage, prompting 3 families to hire an attorney and file formal appeals. Homeowner Frank Dickinson says that the decision came from an out-of-state representative unfamiliar with the situation. Yeah, I saw about that. It was like the guy was in like the middle of the United States somewhere. In total, 5 homes, as well as the Rose Memorial Library, got flooded out as well. And they're moving all their stuff to a different library now. The families say that they're seeking reimbursement for extensive repairs as they continue working through the appeals process. Mike,
I can tell you from personal experience that it is an expensive fix.
Yeah.
Because especially if it was sewer backup, they need to sanitize your entire basement, lower floor, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes to the tune of $25,000 or more.
Sounds like you have some experience with this.
Yeah, and not in Stony Point.
What
in
happened?
West Haverstraw. The sewer system backed up, causing and this is in 2015, a river of sewage, because my house is lower on the grade, and it backed up all into the thing. It was a horrific mess.
Jeez, I'm sorry, man.
I feel so much empathy, sympathy, the whole thing for all of these people. I know exactly what that is. And it is a very expensive mess.
Yeah, man. It's wild.
So going from that
happy story,
I was thinking poopy story.
Yeah, it's all
crappy story. All right,
we'll get you some more coffee. Talk it up.
All right. In Nyack, New City, and Clarkstown, state police say a 21-year-old man was robbed at gunpoint early Saturday after leaving Main Street Bar in Nyack with a woman he had just met.
Oh yeah, that was messed up. I heard about that.
Ugh. The victim told troopers that the woman, identified as 22-year-old Jordan Casserly, claimed rideshare was waiting outside, but the vehicle instead contained 2 men, Jason Butler, 25, and Kyle Youngblood, 38. The group allegedly robbed the victim and left him at the Palisades Parkway near Exit 10. A Bolo expert helped police locate the suspects in Walk Hill, where the troopers conducted a high-risk traffic stop and arrested all 3. They are charged with felony, first-degree robbery, felony conspiracy, and additional misdemeanor charges. All 3 were arraigned at Clarkstown Town Court and remained at the Rockland County Jail with bail set. Moving on to Blauvelt and Orangetown.
Blauvelt and Orangetown. Happy news. We have happy news.
Okay. I like happy news. And this is not sarcastic happy news, is it?
It's positive happy. No.
All right. Go ahead. It's your turn.
It's my turn?
It's your turn.
A newly remodeled Dunkin' at 580 Route 303 in Blauvelt marked its reopening with a $3,000 donation to Catholic Charities Community Services of Rockland through the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation. The check was presented during a ribbon cutting attended by representatives from several county and town offices, as well as the Blauvelt Volunteer Fire Department. The first 100 customers received a promotion offering a free medium coffee for 100 days, while others took part in giveaways and a photo booth. The updated 400-square-foot shop employs 8 workers and operates 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays.
Well, that's nice. I mean, I don't run on Dunkin'. They say America runs on Dunkin'. I know a lot of people love their Dunkin'.
They do love their Dunkin'. I love my Dunkin' too.
I mean, I tend to make my coffee at home, but I'm snooty like that.
This is a misleadingly positive news item.
Rockland absent from the list of most expensive places to live in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking this up yesterday. According to Go Banking, Westchester is obviously the most expensive in New York. Rockland's not even on the list right now.
Which is insane considering our housing prices and our housing crisis.
Fuck yeah. Sorry. Actually, wait. What am I saying? It's our show. Fuck yeah. Still. Forgot about that small detail. See, freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. A new geo-banking rate study ranked New York's 20 most expensive places to live and did not include any Rockland County communities. The list dominated by Westchester, including Larchmont, Bronxville, Armonk, Pelham, and Chappaqua all made the top 20. The rankings were based on the 2025 home values, mortgage payments, annual costs for groceries, utilities, and transportation. Larchmont ranked the highest among the 5 with an average value of $1.7 million. Local real estate experts say demand rates remains high due to proximity to New York City and limited available land, which is what Rockland County has. We may not reach the top 20, but everybody I know, unless they are very wealthy, is hurting in Rockland County.
Of course, yeah.
Generational properties cannot be afforded because of the taxes, as we know. And just because we didn't make this list
doesn't mean we won't in the future.
Doesn't mean we're not hurting right now, because that top 20 might be outrageous, but we're just beyond. We're close to that outrageous too. I know that. I looked up my own property on Zillow, and it is 3 times what I paid for it 10 years ago. And
nice.
That is, except when you think about all of the home prices are now triple of what they were 10 years ago.
Well, that's why I think of home ownership as a zero-sum game.
Yes, but it used to be
using the property to rent out. That's a profitable endeavor, because that money just keeps on pouring in.
So what if you're a generational family and you want your generational house? The taxes are such that you can't stay in your house.
Without a doubt. Oh, here's Don Franchino from, hang on 1 minute. Don, how you doing?
Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Okay, good. We're on with AM Rockland News right now. Would you like to be on the air with us? It's me and my colleague Mike and Tom in the morning. So let me just loop you in if that's all right. Okay. All right, great. Okay, hang on 1 moment. Okay, so we have on the show, this is a nice, quick, random guest. We have Councilman from Ward 3 in the town of Clarkstown. We have Donald Franchino on the air. Thanks for joining us on AM Rockland News. You're on with Mike and Tom.
Good morning.
Morning. My pleasure.
All right, great. So, I would say that Clarkstown is certainly in a state of awareness inside of all the news agencies. Congratulations on the popularity.
Yes.
It's like one of those things where it's just like, all right, where do I not step into? And this is definitely something that I think everybody from every corner of Rockland is interested in how this is going to play out. So basically we had, over the last several months, the Route 59 protests and such. And I believe that the town of Clarkstown brought up a proposal, or maybe just started talking about curtailing the number of hours on which the protesters would normally protest, typically on Saturdays. So maybe you could provide some context to this.
All right. The whole point of this, there's nobody on this town board that objects to free speech, first of all. Second of all, this is a safety issue. If you ever sat on that corner of Route 59 with the cars whizzing by, the chances of them jumping that sidewalk and striking pedestrians, much like happened in New Orleans. What I've petitioned the state to do is install either guardrails along that section of 59 or install what Webster Bank installed, the concrete pilings in front of their bank, because vehicles have gone through over the sidewalk into their lobby 3 times, once by the same person twice. So do I want to see this happen on Route 59 in the ward I represent? Absolutely not. And again, I don't get any blowback from the state. They, in record time, installed 2 turning lanes on 59 to get into Chick-fil-A from 59 to College Avenue. So I'm not buying, their excuse they can't put guardrails in or go the extra step and put those concrete pilings along 59 on the north and the south side. After that, I could care less who protests or what I still do. I could care less. My whole thing is something's going to happen, whether accidentally or intentionally. And I don't want it to happen under my watch. I want this corrected.
How can the citizens help? How can the citizens help promote the safety features that you're trying to install? Is there some place? Are there people that we can call or write to saying that we support your idea of safety features in the Four Corners? How can we help?
You got to contact the state reps that represent this area. Pat Carroll, number one, he's the assemblyman. All right, and I go back to just what I just said about Chick-fil-A getting 2 turning lanes extended to go onto College Avenue. Like overnight it occurred. So here we come with a safety issue, and I'm getting blowback from it's not in our budget, we can't do it. That's crap. And I need people who want to be safe, protest, no problem, but protected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the item here.
So
not free speech.
Right. Yeah. So, and the general vibe I get, obviously, I'm sure you've heard both online and offline the response to the thoughts on this thus far. One of it has to do with the timing. Whether people are waking up early in the morning to start their protest at 10 and then end it at 12. You mentioned last time about the local businesses and how much stress it puts on, for instance, parking, as well as utilization of the bathrooms. Are they patronizing the restaurants, things like that? The last time that you were on the show, you mentioned that you were going to go out there and kind of get like a temperature for all of the local establishments. What have you found out thus far?
Well, I was in Webster Bank. First of all, they posted signs, bathrooms are closed to the public. They don't want people coming in the lobby for security reasons, the bank. And they don't want strangers coming in that are not customers.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Chipotle, you can go to Shake Shack. Those are the 2 main ones there. Those are local managers. They kind of like shrugged it off. And I said to them, look, in New York City, if there's anything going on, whether it be a parade or whatever, and they want to use the bathroom, they have to buy something. And then they get a receipt with a code which lets them to enter the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I proposed that both to Chipotle and to Shake Shack, and they said they would contact corporate, find out if that's something feasible, if they're overwhelmed with people asking to use the bathroom. Beyond 2 hours, I believe bathrooms are going to be needed. Town is not going to supply porta-johns through that area. And
right.
That's the other thing I object to, is the cost to the town of Clarkstown. Police overtime for the 2 hours or so they're there approaches $40,000. And that's taxpayers have to pay for.
That's per year, right? You're talking about per year?
No, that's for the day. It's $40,000 for the day.
$40,000 for the day? Whoa.
Overtime. So we absorb those costs as taxpayers in Clarkstown. Nobody shares in that. Not the county, not any other town shares in those costs. And how do we offset that? It's hard to do. And the organization that organizes these protests, we requested certificates of insurance. Tell us you have liability insurance. They have not conformed to that. So this is, it's an accident waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I need the safety devices installed first and foremost. The cost to the town, I would go to my state reps, Pat Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you get us state money to offset the cost to the taxpayers in Clarkstown that we supply, police officers, police cars, highway department, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it falls on our shoulders. And this is a state highway that we're talking. I'm not talking about Middletown Road. I'm talking about Route 59.
Mm-hmm.
And if the taxpayers of Clarkstown are willing to foot the bill, I'm all for it. But I think some aid should come from the state to offset these costs.
Yeah, and this is new when you brought up about having the safety barriers, and that, to me, I think, let me say it in a slightly humorous way. Not all walls are bad.
There you go.
So it's like, have a barrier to create a logical delineation, if you will, between the road and the protesters, and that might alleviate the liability.
Road and the sidewalk.
The road and the sidewalk, yeah.
Right? Because even not during protest time, people walk there, right? regardless of protesting, this is a safety issue because that is a place where pedestrians are supposed to walk, and it is not safe. Cars can veer off, as you're saying, and strike pedestrians. Correct?
That's correct. Now, I walk that area to get to Middlewood, where my brother was in residence, and I never walk with my back to the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I know bicyclists have to, go with the flow of traffic, and their backs to the traffic, and they can't see anything coming at you. Walking is another issue. I always face traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And react to anything that's going on.
It's funny you say that because I also, riding bicycles, I always try to ride toward traffic.
That's illegal. You have to ride with traffic.
I'm talking about John Denver country roads out there, not in Rockland, not at all.
No. But now the TZ Bridge is a perfect example of the protection they have across that bridge. With the fencing, the sound barriers that they have on the bridge, and you're directed which way to ride the bike, per se, and you don't so much have to worry about traffic on that bridge. But certainly on 6 lanes of highway through Nanuet, you have to be concerned about it.
Of course,
and certainly, I'm concerned if we get 2,000 people there. That's a concern.
Yeah,
and it's not been addressed, not by our state reps at all. They're more interested in free speech. And like I said, there isn't a member of this town board that doesn't support free speech.
Mm-hmm.
So, once we get a barrier up and going, I won't pay attention to this issue any longer.
Yeah, understood.
Now that it's been brought up, I feel more comfortable as a town councilman that if I didn't address this, I would feel tremendous guilt if something happened.
Of course. Now, to your point, so the last time that you were on the show, you talked about this on AM Rockland's News. The podcast for the previous show is available. If you just type in Rockland's News, you'll be able to find it. But after your segment on the show last time, and you did say this, and I quote, "I'm looking for a solution that will satisfy both sides." And, this speaks to you want to be a representative not just for the businesses, but also the people that are using the area.
And the taxpayers.
And the taxpayers area. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Patrick Carroll, he responded afterwards to the proposal. Have you and he been in contact, and is he amenable to the idea of, as a happy medium, having those barriers? Like, is that starting to be discussed over the course of the next few weeks, having barriers?
I'm going to talk to him. I haven't as of yet. He has been critical of the town board, saying we're cutting people's rights to protest off. Mm-hmm. And I think he misses the point completely, that we don't have any issue with people expressing their views. We have an issue with safety.
Nice.
And that's why I want to be on board and be ahead of this, that if something does happen, hey, we're trying to correct it, and we're doing our best, and we got to work with the state. And Pat Carroll's part of the state; he's an assemblyman.
Indeed.
And you know how quick ugly guardrails can go up. If you want to do something that Webster Bank did, which is more aesthetically pleasing, which is the concrete, pilings, I don't care. All right, whatever gets it done. Guardrails certainly are a quick fix.
Yeah.
And the state can install them overnight.
And that won't limit the protesters from protesting whatever they want to protest, correct?
Absolutely not. It protects them. They're not going to impede on the sidewalk. The guardrails, there is a strip between the sidewalks and 59 that's available to install guardrails.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are not trying to limit protesting. We're trying to make protesting even safer. Correct?
You could protest 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Bam!
That's what we want to hear.
See, that's what we're, yeah.
And then I pull the police back. And we don't need the police at that point because you're protected by a guardrail.
Guardrails.
We save the taxpayers $38,000 a day that they're out there, preventing any accidents from occurring.
That seems like a logical solution to a lot of this. It's not the there's always
passive one-cost safety instead of a fee every single time it needs to happen.
Bingo. I love it. And as a business person, and Donald, been a business person prior to being the town councilman for Ward 3 for many years, all-state business in the town of Clarkstown. You're looking at it, I imagine you're looking at it from both sides of the coin. It's like, you want the humans to be taken care of, but also the infrastructure that supports the humans to be taken care of as well.
Absolutely. And if there's problems with the businesses, beyond what I just spoke about, it's up to the tenants or the managers of these businesses to contact Brixmore, their landlord, or Daniel at Town Center if they object to having parking in their parking lot. That's we will not touch that because that's private property. That's their parking. That's their issue.
Dig it.
What we're touching on is going to be safety from a state highway, which is Route 59. Middletown Road is not so much an issue, but that's 6 lanes of traffic that are going up and down that road. And I've observed the protesting that's occurred, and people don't slow down.
Mm-hmm.
They're inconvenienced by this, and and they want to get through to wherever they're going to. But that's almost the same all over. But this, is a special place, and I want to keep it a special place, and I want to keep it a safe place with no memorials.
Right. Yeah. Understood. Yeah. Very pragmatic. Very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Now, for people to get a hold of you to discuss this issue further, should they email you or call your office? What's a good way of reaching you?
Either way, they can do my cell number. My cell number's on the business card.
Yeah.
For the town of Clarkstown, so it's wide open.
I have the information off of the Clarkstown government website. If you'd like, I'll just read it off. So 845-639-2056. That would be right?
Yes.
Okay. And then if you pardon me. And if you wanted to email, it's d.franchino@clarkstown.gov. So let's
Tom,
yes, sir.
You're good, Tom. That's why I partnered with you on the Rebuilding High Tour. You're very good, and you're on top of everything, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Don't worry about it. And Mike Kluger, our co-host here, he's a good counterbalance to whatever zany stuff I say.
We talked a lot about this before you popped on it, and thank you for the clarification, because safety is very important. And I encourage all of our listeners to send positive emails to you, pressure Pat Carroll, to find the money to put in these safety features. Concrete and steel is not that expensive in America. Come on, compared to extensive overtime for the police.
Yeah, and we're big fans of metal.
We are, man. Iron Maiden's my favorite.
Yeah, rock on.
Right. Well, I know the state can put in guardrails overnight. No question about it. They repair the guardrails all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do have stockpiled at the Cloverleaf of Route 59 and 304 are concrete dividers. But they're ugly, and they would cut down on pedestrian traffic on the sidewalks because of their width.
Mm-hmm.
Guardrail would not. And if they really want to do something nice, they can do what Webster Bank did in front of their bank.
Yeah.
They put in the concrete pilings. They're decorated. They're colorful, and it dresses that up a little. But a guardrail is a guardrail, and it serves its purpose. It protects the pedestrians.
Mm-hmm. Very pragmatic. I like the idea thus far, and I say that objectively. But Donald Franchino from Clarkstown Ward 3, thank you for being on AM Rockland News this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great day. So that was Don Franchino. For those of you that wanted to check him out on the Town of Clarkstown website, it's clarkstown.gov. You could email him again, d.franchino@clarkstown.gov, and the phone number 845-639-2056.
And to sum up, no protesting rights are being hampered. We are trying to protect the protesters by having a safer four corners. This goes for all the pedestrians, and I want to stress that this is a pedestrian walkway that does not have a safety feature. This is not about free speech. This is about why isn't the state putting safety features on a very busy road?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there was no protesters, I would want guardrails on Route 59 because it's such a traveled road.
Right.
And like he said that those rails can go up tomorrow.
Yeah. And, my mention earlier about like, and I was being metaphorical about like a car jumping the curve and like mowing people down. Nobody wants that.
No, and
Nobody.
And that's not from a place of malice. That could just be it's an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
This is there are things that happen all the time with automobiles. This safety feature really needs to go. It's a passive safety feature. I encourage all of you who are feel concerned and feel compelled to call Pat Carroll and ask him for the safety feature. This isn't about protesting. This is about being safe.
Yeah, and to learn more about Patrick Carroll, who's our assemblyman, you go to nyassembly.gov/MEM/Patrick-J-Carroll. I figure if you go to nyassembly.gov, you could just find the link and everything. You know what sucks? There should be a QR code for live stream audio. Nobody's invented that yet.
Well, maybe you'll do it.
No,
you'll be a billionaire.
Dude, I'm 50 years old. I'm pretty much like halfway. No, I'm actually.
Do you know the number
I'm
of
5'8" into my life, dude.
Do you know the number of inventors who invented their awesome thing after they turned 50?
Listen, don't get me wrong, okay? I have no problem being Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
And at the age of 65, suddenly discovering the secret, okay? At this point.
What was it, 21 Spices or something?
21. I figured out a better method for taking chickens' heads off. That's basically what happened. Oh. Yeah. I mean, look, we got to eat. Them? We got to eat. What?
Nothing.
I know what you did there.
I had to break to Tommy at least once.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, let's talk about this. But we went from like talking about the safety issues of, pedestrians in Clarkstown and the infrastructure and how police are affecting the area because of the budget that's involved and the question of safety rails, to choking chickens.
I mean, I wanted to go frivolous and start talking about the new, what they're using the Ocean State job lot, New City store for. I do not understand pickleball. So, Tom, tell us about what they're putting in Ocean State job lot, New City.
We got this information last night at Rockland's News, and it was one of those stories that while people are focusing on, like, for instance, the robbery, like, a guy got, and it sucks, the guy got robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah, that's terrible. All of these terrible news.
Thank the Lord he's okay, you know, but it was just wild. But check this out, man. We're going to have New York pickleball.
What is New York pickleball?
New York pickleball, man.
Tell me more about
it's New York pickleball. You don't have,
Hold on. I have tried to play just about every sport that I can think of, every game, and most of that was done in my youth.
Right.
And pickleball seemed to have come out of nowhere in the last 10 years, and I don't even know anything about pickleball. Why is it so important? Do you know anything about it?
I have not experienced the pickleball phenomenon as of yet.
Anyway,
I started with like large tennis balls, and I just kept on hitting those when I was in high school and
that's
college.
Not pickleball, though.
I understand. And then I went to ping pong,
which is also not pickleball.
But it's like I deal with the two extremes, and it seems like pickleball is the happy medium where you have like a smaller court, and you're using smaller motions. I'm miming the motions of pickleball, but it's kind of like
he's being a mime, right? Well, he's speaking, so he can't be all that mime.
I'm not miming. No, I'm just saying, like basically, like you're hitting the ball over the net, right? And that's pickleball.
So smaller, it's like tennis.
But it's smaller. Let me bring up a picture of
like racquetball.
Kind of, yeah. Like if you took the racquetball size court and you put a net right in the middle of it, and you put two people on one side and two people on the other.
Oh, so it's pairs.
Correct. I think you can do it
solo
by yourself.
Pickle?
I mean, look, let me ask you about it. I know what you did there. Again, all right. You want to go back to the KFC conversation?
You're the one bringing it back.
I'm trying to bring it back.
I'm just talking about pickles.
All right. According to the famed Wikipedia, pickleball is a racket or paddle sport in which 2 or 4 players. Okay, so you can have 2 players.
So you can solo pickle.
Yeah, and here is a picture of people solo pickling with 2 people.
So I'm looking at what looks like a tiny tennis court.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tiny
Um,
tennis court. I guess I could have said that at the beginning instead.
So
of,
it's basically tiny tennis.
it's no.
It's not micro
No,
tennis.
and that's why I brought up the ping pong, sir.
That's like micro tennis.
I brought up the ping pong specifically. That's tiny tennis.
All right, so it's medium tennis?
It's
as
medium
opposed
tennis.
to full-size tennis.
You could have mediums. Like, that would be a great sponsor. You could have, like, a psychic medium tell you, hey, you're going to win, or hey, you're going to lose.
But don't bet on it.
Do you know what you call a midget fortune teller that just escaped prison?
Is this a dirty joke?
No. What do you call a midget fortune teller that just escaped prison?
What do you call?
A small, medium, at large.
Oh, gods.
I know.
And he's not even a dad. That was a dad joke.
So let's talk about where
pickleball.
this pickleball.
It is in New City.
I know it is.
Where the old Ocean State job lot, and I will miss that store. It was one of my most favorite stores to go shop at.
What was in Ocean State job lot?
A little bit of everything.
Tell me about it, because I've never been in there.
Do you remember the old school C.H. Martins?
I do.
So
I used to play video games in the one in West Palm.
Yeah, right. Me too. So C.H. Martin's was like a tiny little department store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ocean State job lots like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's got a variety of things.
Lots of little things.
Interesting.
And stuff that you don't see it normally at other stores.
Mm-hmm.
And discounted prices, and just like C.H. Martin's, it was the cheap place to go one-stop shop and get a bunch of stuff.
C.H. Martin's was awesome. Man.
It was. Even without the video games, it was still awesome.
My mom used to take me there all the time. So the video games were in the exit part.
I remember.
Yeah. Okay. So then you and I.
We might have played the same video games.
Actually, it would be kind of funny and coincidental if, it's like one of those things when you're playing videos, like, hey, man, and we were standing right next to each other playing like this game or the other, didn't even know.
Or like we were fighting for the top score,
and
we didn't know.
So Street Fighter?
I did play Street Fighter.
Okay. Yeah. Spy Hunter?
Spy Hunter's my most favorite arcade game of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. How about what other games were there? There were a variety because they used to rotate.
Oh, yes.
Tron?
Tron.
Or was that at the deli? I'm trying to think if it was.
I played Tron back when there was Vito and Richie's.
Okay.
In Hamstra Pizza. Yeah. It was the best pizza around. And I'm so sad. Like going back to my childhood, Vito and Richie's was the place.
Interesting.
You go get the Zeppelis, you get yourself some nice slices, and you play Tron.
Yeah. And when we played video games, there was no worries.
That's true.
Focusing just
Maybe
on
that's why the
games.
kids today play so much stuff on their phone, because they have less worries.
I mean, it's an anxiety reducer. It's like, if you're looking at your phone, and that's the thing that I'm at the ripe old age of 50 now, and it's like, why do I need to look at this consarn device all the time? I think that's my big revelation at the age of 50.
I saw I guess I saw it in a meme. It was some sort of joke basically saying that your phone is the cigarette for your eyes.
Trippy.
Yeah, right?
Very trippy.
Right? Cigarette for your eyes. It took me a minute to really process that. And I was like, yeah. Because I was never a cigarette smoker, but my dad smoked heavily and was constantly in his hand, right? This was prior to cell phones. And everyone I see now is looking at their phone just like it's usually when they go on the cigarette break, if they're still smoking cigarettes, they get the cigarette and the phone.
I do it too. I mean, literally last night, I went from getting the show ready to going into the next room and playing Gran Turismo video game to going upstairs and hanging out with my wife and watching Eddie Murphy, the documentary, which by the way was, it was okay. I like him as an actor, but the documentary was just, I don't know, whatever. But watching that on the screen to looking at my iPad. So from one screen to another screen to another screen to another screen. Makes you want to scream.
Yeah. So I wonder what it is. It's got to be some sort of dopamine thing.
It is.
And I wonder, we should go find someone to explain to us, help us as citizens break the addiction of our screens.
Do we want to get somebody to interview on the show?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think
I
that's
wonder
a good
if
idea.
any one of our sponsors might have some insight.
Well, we have Dr. Anna Marie from North Rockland Chiropractic, and she's very, very deeply tuned into wellness.
That's why that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. I like it. All right, let me. I'm going to make a note, everybody. If you could just hang on one moment, because we're going to have somebody on the show talking about screen time psychosis. No. But it
screen time addiction for sure.
I'm sure. I'm 100% sure that it will lead to, some mental health issues if people don't break the cycle. If they're only looking at that, that's a problem.
Well, as we walk around, we've noticed more and more and more people are in front of screens constantly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to contact her and have her on the show. Just writing a note to myself.
People
looking at a screen.
People should listen to more podcasts.
They should. But don't try and get rich from it. Trust me on that one.
Who's rich?
I know a few riches. Richard D. Person. He was one of the best mentors that a man could have. Used to be on Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue and Fifth, or something like that. One of those areas down in New York City. I'm not in New York City, but he worked for an advertising agency. And he was also a documenter for molecular biology.
Wow.
Yeah. He would document the work that was researched and, citate and everything. Really cool dude. May he rest in peace. All right. So I'm going to contact Dr. Anna Marie.
All right. Should we go back to the news?
I guess. Yeah. Why not? What else do we got? Regeneron. Guy was killed Sunday morning when a tree fell onto his car in South Pascack Road. Yeah, I saw this last night too.
That's sad.
Authorities say the strong winds were responsible for multiple fallen tree incidents across the region. Further up north in Putnam County, a large branch had shattered the windshield of a car in Carmel, but in that case, the driver was uninjured. And there was additional trees that came down all over the place with the wind over the weekend. So it was pretty wild. And then you got Regeneron and so on.
I like this. There's a Rockland countywide initiative. State Senator Bill Weber says his annual winter coat drive is seeing the strongest start ever, with donations filling his Nanuet office just 10 days into the effort. The drive, which has collected more than 2,800 pounds of winter clothing. I don't know how many pounds a jacket weighs.
Right.
But that sounds like a lot of jackets.
Yeah.
Winter clothing over the past 2 years runs through December 15th. The program began after Conbit. I'm sorry, I cannot read that.
No worries.
Conbit Neg
Lakai.
Lakai, okay.
That's run by our colleague Renaud Julian, who is a member of the Workforce Development Board of Rockland County. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I know him for about 7 or 8 years.
Well, citizens, listeners, donations of coats, hats, gloves, shoes can be dropped off at town halls, libraries, community centers countywide, including Finkelstein Memorial Library, Nanuet Public Library, and multiple town hall locations. Organizers say the goal remains simple: ensure every resident who needs a warm coat receives one.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Last week, we had Diana Sarator from People to People.
Right. We were talking about food insecurity.
Exactly. Now, I mentioned this I didn't piece it together, and I'm very careful with this because like I mentioned last week, we were on the generosity of the church for several years while I was growing up. My mom and I.
Your family.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When I was in my, my 8, 9, 10, that area, we just moved up from the city. So it was we needed help, and the generosity of the churches and everything. People to People is one of the leading organizations in Rockland County that deal with food insecurity. They get pallets and pallets of donations, and they distribute it to many people that are suffering from food insecurity. I just finished, more of as a novelty, a fast, 36-hour fast. It was more for personal, getting back to fundamentals with my physical body. But while Diana was on the air, I was like, you know what? I think we can take this a little further. So I am announcing today that we are going to be doing a fast.
A fast-a-thon.
We don't know what the name of it is yet. I spoke with Diana off the air, so we want to make sure that we're really sensitive to this.
Well, I mean, from the a-thon part,
Right.
I think that people who want to donate cash should donate
Bingo.
for every hour past, say, 12, 24 that you fast, people can donate some money. And if people want to join you in the fast and they can also raise money, do it like an old school, like they used to have dance-a-thons and sit-a-thons and sing-a-thons and all of these a-thons.
All those a-thons.
Well, how about a fast-a-thon? Tommy is going to lead us in a fast-a-thon.
Well, I don't know about lead, but I would like to participate.
You get yourself some sponsors. All proceeds to be donated to people to people, right?
Exactly. And here's how we do it. So this is the plan thus far, okay? I'm going to do a fast for 36 hours, starting on, let's say, Tuesday again, or Monday night into Wednesday morning.
We're going to have weigh-ins like it's like sports.
We could.
I
We
think
could
that
get
would
the
be
New York
great.
Boulders as one of our sponsors, so maybe they can
we should
comment
like
on
weigh
it.
in. Anybody who wants to participate and join.
Now, Mike, you got to
Tommy's
help me
cause.
with this. And I'm going to tell you this. This sounds like a little weird coming from me because, you know, I'm a ham and I love crowds and
I
audiences.
showed you that they're
Hey, what's going on?
fasting.
But I want to say this. I do not want to make this about me. So I need your help. We'll schedule a time where you're on, like, you know, with me.
All right.
Yeah. So that way we could talk with other people that comment in.
Okay.
We could talk with them and see what they're experiencing. And we really want to make this an event where we're combining efforts, not just with a really good organization, but also kind of like opening up the channels to be able to talk with other people in the area. Because look, food insecurity, it's part of Maslow's hierarchies of needs, man. So we want to try to, as best as possible, alleviate hunger. And for every hour, as Mike said, that you are fasting along with us, you donate the amounts that you would have normally spent on that meal.
Or donate the food items.
You could donate the food items as well. So
Because
canned goods.
People to people take some food, right?
Absolutely. Canned goods, you could bring it to people. Or, and I spoke with Diane about this, you can donate directly to there. So we're going to do 36 hours of fasting. You can do 1 hour if you want, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then you just figure out how much you want to drop in the coffers to be able to help people that are dealing with food insecurity.
I would even say this. If you wanted to do food matching, like I'm gonna eat, but in honor of your cause, for every meal that I make, I'm going to make a second meal to go to people.
I mean, if people can do that, it's like a really quick thing that we're putting together. But I mean, if it's doable,
I'm trying to figure out what is. Everyone needs to be able to give in their own way, right?
That's true.
There are so many people out there that love to cook and love to try new recipes and all that, but they don't have enough mouths to feed. So how do we put the chefs and the cooks and the people who are interested in cooking with the people who are hungry and have no time and no aptitude to cook? Because it's not a skill everyone has.
That's definitely something. And, you know, if we talk more with people to people, I think they have multiple drives along the years. So, you know, maybe we could do something with that too. Why not?
I mean, we are heading into Thanksgiving. There's a lot of folks who are hurting financially, economically. They're hungry. They're cold. Thank you, Senator Weber, for the coat drive.
Yeah, 2,800 pounds of winter clothing so far.
I want to know how that equates out into individual winter clothes. But
That's a good question.
I guess it's a cornucopia of clothes.
Assuming that
because it's socks and pants and coats and such. But
yeah, well, assuming that each winter coat is anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds.
And that's just coats. Like I said, socks don't weigh so much.
So that's it's got to be approximately 900 coats, give or take. Something like that.
Fair enough. So you can get a coat, you can get some food. Do we have any soup kitchens in Rockland County? Do you know?
That's a good question. I used to work with St. Peter's for a short period of time, and they had a soup kitchen there back in the 2000s. They also are a food pantry that's accepting donations. They had one last Friday for packing and organizing.
So Folks, if you're trying to help those less fortunate than you, your local churches will take in food, people to people take some food. We are trying to raise the awareness of folk to understand that it isn't just a question of those who are undeserved. There are those who are less fortunate than you, and they are your neighbors. They are children down the street, and we all have a right to those needs, right?
Yeah. And tuning into that feeling of hunger. Now, for some reason, I expected I was going to get headaches and a whole bunch of things. I lived off of coffee for 36 hours. But one thing that was really interesting that I thought about several times while I was fasting is it was easier for me because I knew there was an end point.
Right.
I knew at hour 36, hour 37, we were going to go to a diner and grab some food. We went over to Stony Point Diner over here, right?
Because we decided we were going to help support the 9W businesses hurt by Chippy.
Well, hey, I mean,
Right.
it's definitely a $10 million deficit in terms of businesses in the area.
Just reminding people to go support the folks over in 9W corridors that
Absolutely
have been damaged by the construction.
Saison EP Loan, located in the Stony Point Patriot Square. Excellent Spanish food over there.
And Whole Shop Bagels.
Whole Shop Bagels over
Bagels
in
and more.
Havstra. But I had that expectation in my mind that it was like, you know what? Unconsciously, I knew I was going to have my next meal.
Because you were coming from a place of abundance, not scarcity.
Yes. And that is something that is really valuable to understand, that when you're in a mindset of scarcity, and I'm not saying yes or no or anything like that, the decision tree changes.
That's true.
It is a survival thing. How am I going to survive? So I would guarantee you, no matter who it is, me or anyone else, you go 72 hours, you're hunting. You're hunting for, and nobody should have to do that. Nobody.
Especially in the society that we have built, it is not a question of grow it yourself. It's not a question of pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's we're set to go be service workers. And if that's the case, somebody has to feed us, right? And we're expected to feed ourselves in a way now that is counterproductive to how humanity was raised.
Survival.
For thousands.
Exactly.
Well, not even from a survival place, but from the more people you can feed with one person, the more specialists you can have. And right now, everyone's a specialist, and there are very few farmers, which means from a science of society, we have done very well in making it so one person can feed an extremely large amount of people, except the food has to be able to get to all those people.
Yes. And we have been in an economy of what I would call, and we're getting back to, Adam, what the hell is his last name? Anyway, supply side economics.
Okay.
All right. Keynesian model, right? Adam Smith. I'm sorry. Adam Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. So supply side economics is there is an abundance, right? There's an abundance of, listen, you and I both know we could go into our screen addiction and just go on Amazon and finish our Christmas shopping by noon. All right.
Assuming that we had the bank account to pay for that. Yes.
Well, I mean, let's just, that doesn't matter because like for me, I'm happy with like that beach ball on the chair over there. Yay, Bally! But I guess that's the abundance mentality. But what happens when that flips around? And I perceive that over the next few years, we're going to start to flip into that demand side economics.
Oh, so what you're saying about the going shopping is that it's if there's anything that you want, it's available, it's accessible,
right?
Except if you are on the underprivileged side of society, where you are in this survival state, because the survival state does not give you that same access, right? Only the
Correct.
folks who will have abundance have access to that, even if it is perceived.
Yes. And one of the shifts that I also perceive is going to come into play with this is, where do we get our meat from? And I'm saying that metaphorically. Where do we get our goods and services and resources? And if you think about it, we live in a state that is fairly resourceful.
That's true.
You go on the NewYorkState.gov website. I mean, there's a resource for establishing a corporation, a resource for getting health care, a resource for anything, like, building
Agriculture. New York State is one of those. We pay high taxes, but we get a lot from our taxes.
How to apply for a weed permit so that you could have a dispensary, a
drive-through one, like 202 Cannabis.
Yes, and 202 Cannabis is located in Garnerville, New York. They're the first drive-through cannabis dispensary in all of Rockland County. I don't know about all this cannabis stuff, but me and Mike, we went in there last week and went around,
and it was it was like almost like going to a mini museum.
Yeah,
we had a personal person,
did.
Right? Because there were like little displays of everything, and they were all by each individual like company farm.
And there was a little description in front of each bud.
Oh, there was. It was so cool. Like, even if you don't want to consume the cannabis, you should really go check out the store just to be informed about what it is.
Make sure you bring your government ID, and you can order online at 202cannabisco.com.
Oh, cool.
Indeed.
All right.
So just wrapping up on food insecurity. All right. So, bottom line here to me. All right. And when you're fasting, it's that state of survival mentality. And you think about it, it can actually lead to some, I guess, better thinking coming out of it. And that's what we want here when we're doing this fast, is those of you that would perhaps join me on this endeavor to take a few hours off from eating, maybe feel a little uncomfortable, but use that time in order to little contemplation.
Appreciate your abundance.
Yes. And you take the time that you might have been eating and you donate that either in the form of possibly canned goods directly to people, or you can donate a few bucks to there as well. Could be 5, 10, 20 bucks.
You can donate your time as well, can't you?
You absolutely can. And the way that you can do that is you could go to peopletopeopleinc.org. Diane Sarator, she runs the establishment for many years. And some of the things that are needed at the moment are cereal, canned beef stew and canned chili, canned corn and canned green beans, dried beans, granola bars, pasta, peanut butter, and tuna fish, which is tuna fish is where it's at.
Well, you can't tuna fish.
No, you but could you tuna? No, that won't work.
No.
All right. And you could donate online too. So okay. I think it's going to be the timing for this is going to be in the first week of December.
Okay.
After Cyber Monday, I'm thinking.
Not right before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
So this is more for right in the middle, like you got leftover Thanksgiving stuff. We're moving into holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is, New Year's, like all of that kind of cold weather food support.
Yes, exactly. Right. Because
so, folks,
hunger happens all year long. We just don't see it. Correct. And this is a time, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, obviously people are going to help time-wise and donation at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
So watch this.
What about that time in between?
This. As part of your Thanksgiving Day meals and celebrations and gatherings, encourage your guests to bring some stuff and have your own mini food drive, which you then can take to the food pantries.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
I have a friend who he likes to call his party with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, it was one of the first times I had been to one of these gatherings. There was like 50 people there, and he set up all these tables, and we made over 100 sandwiches
Mm-hmm.
that he then packed up and sent to the food pantry. It was a really cool idea of like everyone can just gather and drink their drinks and smoke their smokes and do what they do, right?
I know nothing of that.
But it's cool when you can do that, and then as part of that gathering, do something to give back to the community that of the people that you may not know who's eating those sandwiches,
Mm-hmm.
but they're certainly going to appreciate it, and it might help them be a happier service person to when you're going to check out at whatever store it is. They're going to be a little less grumpy because they have a sandwich in their belly.
Yes. So
right?
it creates a cycle of abundance
And happiness.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring joy to the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be joyful when you're starving.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a few events that we wanted to announce. First of all, in the town of Haverstraw today, there is going to be the unveiling, and I got to bring up this news item because it's someone that I know, and he passed away. Hector Soto. They are going to reveal they're going to unveil. I'm sorry, I'm bringing up the news item, but Senator Bill Weber, Assemblyman Patrick Carroll,
Okay.
Supervisor Howard Phillips, and the Soto family will host a ceremony unveiling the sign officially designating the Hector L. Soto Memorial Highway on the corner of Route 202 and Rosman Road in Haverstraw. That is today at 1 p.m. Parking is available at Haverstraw Town Hall, and attendees may walk to the dedication site. I'll be there as well. Let me just read off a little bit about Hector. Hector L. Soto, a proud U.S. Air Force veteran and Vietnam service member, dedicated his life to public service. After his military career, he spent 36 years with the town of Haverstraw Police Department, rising to administrative detective. Following retirement, he continued serving his community as a Haverstraw town councilman. He passed away peacefully. Good. He passed away. I didn't know about this part. He passed away peacefully on April 21st, 2023, at the age of 76, surrounded by his family. So, yeah, and special thanks to Senator Bill Weber. He was the one that made the legislation possible, as well as Assemblyman Patrick Carroll, who talked about it. And guess who we have on the air right now is George Holman. Can you hang on a minute?
Look at that.
Yeah, you want to talk it up for a little bit? I'm just going to.
All right. Well.
Hey, George, we're on the air right now.
That's two good check marks for our Senator Weber over there. He's keeping people warm, dedicating it to lifelong Haverstraw folk. So, citizens, listeners, there's been so much divisiveness. One of the ways that we can get together, like Tommy and I do, we talk about all sorts of issues that are social issues. And part of it is a lack of understanding and a lack of compassion. So when you are looking into that time of how abundant are you? Are you in survival mode? If you are in that place of abundance, try to understand those folks who are in survival mode. And if you can get them even to that place where they can thrive a little bit, it's going to make everyone's lives better. It will make everyone's thing a little bit cheerier. And this whole misery loves company, it only loves company so we can stop being miserable. You got to work to be happy and joyful. You got to give in. You got to put the energy in to be happy and joyful. If we all take a moment to understand where the other person's coming from, that will come around back to us because they're trying to come figure out where we're coming from.
That's right. How you doing?
And Tom, he's here to tell us what George Holman is coming from.
George Holman says hi. And he has been a guest on Rockland News at least a half a dozen times at this point. So he's going into a meeting. So he just wanted to tell everybody that's listening to AM Rockland. He said hello. All right. and he and Don are interfacing about how this is going to work. It's obviously something that most of the people in Rockland County are tuning into just from a point of interest.
The guardrail.
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Yes.
so it's going to be interesting how this goes. But we will stay tuned onto this particular.
It's such a simple thing, and I don't. It's almost amazing that the uppers want to fight us on something as simple as a guardrail.
Well, I mean, Patrick Carroll might be amenable to the idea of, maybe New York State providing guardrails. It is a New York State highway.
Well, and again, why would someone tell us no for some guardrails? Is there are we impacting the sturgeon or something?
Yeah, and don't get me started. I know sturgeon have rights.
They do
okay,
have
we
rights.
found this out, ladies
They
and
do.
gentlemen. We found this out when the transmission pipeline was coming from Canada, all the way down to New York City, and Riverkeeper made sure that the pipeline did not go into the Hudson River, and instead it's on Route 9W.
Well, it is not on Route 59. The point is we want to have guardrails that do not affect not even the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we have guardrails on busy roads in Rockland County?
Why can't we?
I would like to know what the argument other than financial or labor hours are that we could not have that.
Well, here's the great news about that. I happen to have, the information to contact the office of Patrick Carroll and maybe get some more context, and perhaps we can have him on the show at a future episode of AM Rockland.
And maybe when we speak with Pat Carroll, just like when we spoke with earlier, we didn't have all the information. We got clarification right here on the air, and I love that about this show, Tom.
Yeah,
that we went from are they really trying to stop protesters from protesting? No, they're actually trying to keep the protesters safer.
Right, exactly. Right? Yeah, and I like that. I mean, I just want to say, and I disclose this very much. I lean a little bit to the right,
and I lean a little bit to the left,
and that's the way that we balance each other out. We always end this with a smile on our face. But bottom line is we can all agree on public safety.
Yes. So nobody wants to get hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want your people hurt, and if you want somebody else hurt, you should really get back to that abundance and thinking and understanding community part.
And after you are done with your protest, you can also celebrate at the various food establishments in the area. I remember back in the day, after a protest was done, would head right over to Panera Bread, and people, this is the part I loved, Mike, Republican, Democrat, in the middle, didn't matter. Okay. If you got the talking going and talked about the issues, and it wasn't about the person, it was about the issue on the table. And I like that a lot.
What is our closest sponsor to Four Corners?
Kobe Sushi, located in New City. No, I'm sorry. No, wait, I'm wrong. Banchetto Feast. They're right across the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could have Banchetto Feast, or you could go listen to some jazz at Kobe Sushi.
Right. We call it the Snowflake Special. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
Was that at the sushi place? Did you get the special?
No, it wasn't. Damn it. You see? Right. See, this is where I go. This is why I should never be in office, man.
Well, we're not in an office. We're in the studio.
Okay, so we're safe.
So Kobe Sushi.
They have a pickleball party today.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding. At 12:30 today, pickleball party is going to be over at Kobe Sushi. I believe that's in conjunction with something that we talked about before about the New York Pickleball Club. Maybe
that's opening in New City.
I guess they're celebrating.
Well, if you want to know about pickleball, that's the place I guess you got to go. I don't know anything about pickleball. Maybe I should go and get some sushi and learn about pickleball.
Do you want to go? Do you have time today?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Here's the problem. I got to be at the Hector El Soto Memorial piece because they're going to unveil that on Rosman Road at 1:00.
Well, even if we can't go, you should all go.
I have an idea. You go to the Get Sushi and hang out at the pickleball thing. I will go to the memorial.
Well, only because I'm interested in what pickleball is.
All right.
And
Okay.
if any of our listeners want to write in and give us their take on pickleball, I would be interested in that.
Yeah. Mike, as we close out the show, I have to say that this was significantly a better show than was last week.
Well, hopefully it will be because the microphones were not muted today.
Yeah, that was kind of so. For those of you that tuned in last week, and I don't know if one of my colleagues, Arlene Kahn from Whole Health Wellness, that's Arlene and Dr. Eric Goldman from Whole Health Life Wellness. I want to get that specifically correct, but I want to apologize to those of you that tuned in last week and all you heard was complete silence. We accidentally had the microphones muted for at least a portion of the show. So this is my apology to you. Whoopsie!
Whoopsie.
Yeah, so that was kind of a mistake. And even like the killer of it is like Mike and I had an awful show last week.
I mean, it wasn't awful.
It was awful enough.
It was not as easy to follow as our shows in the past.
Yeah, and I was coming off of a fast, and afterwards we just went out to breakfast and talked, and I think we had a really
supporting a 9W corridor business, mind you.
Yes, sir.
So I encourage you all to support all of the 9W corridor businesses that have been affected by the heavy construction.
Absolutely.
I think it's time for you to tell us about our sponsors. I mean, we talk about a few of them a bunch, but we have not discussed, like Yaboo Fence.
Absolutely. So let me bring up the closing music and we'll talk about it. Which one is it?
It's the one that says the thing.
I don't know which one it is. All right, I'm going to bring up the beginning part with Mike and Tom from Ilana, and then we're going to get into the sponsors. So we're going to close out the show with the sponsors.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today.
And she's going to introduce us, but
here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
Here we are again.
Yeah, we want to thank Yaboo Fence Company. Yaboo! Dana Pest Control, Kobe Sushi Pickleball Party at 12:30 today. Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey. Susan Bover from Coldwell Banker Realty. Molino Muller from Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Whole Shop Bagels in Haverstraw, New York. 99 signs without a sign is a sign without no business. Workforce Development Board of Rockland County. Rockland Works. Get a job, people. FC Perfection Auto Body Repair. Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. Sparkling Clean Homes. And our friends at New York Bulgers. We'll see you next time.
Have a good morning.